Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 3 of Phoenix Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Last time, we got to the bottom that basically Phoenix pushed Doug Swallow. He landed on the umbrella, so he didn't crash into the wire itself. He crashed into only the pole, so he wasn't killed at that point. And now we're cross-examining Dollie, a Hawthorne, Phoenix's girlfriend at the time. So anyways, let's continue on. Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me.
That's nice, but I find it just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise.
He said that?
If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable! But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Ouch!
May I have a moment to answer?
But by all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seems as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble.
Thunder and lightning, huh?
Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put on my headphones to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that would totally change this whole case.
Lightning.
Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony.
What do you mean?
Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct?
Yes, what about it?
Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right?
No, not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye.
Yes, Your Honor. Anyways, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
Oh.
Ah!
I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me.
Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyways? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that the Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt.
It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually an accidental?
Alright, you did, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you... I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at the location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitively linked to the case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne. Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power hours in around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All the labs equipment's run on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying that the equipment lost power because? Precisely! They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits with the time of the death list in the autopsy report.
Exactly! In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
Well, they're gonna be having to replace them right now. I see.
Apparently the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it had been bumped into. Then wouldn't it have been snapped if it had been bumped into, correct? Great, now my lines are being flubbed.
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable?
Your Honor, I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion.
Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defense testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that...
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right with Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See that umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break.
Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim.
Order in the court.
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them.
The judge is your enemy, Mia? Just Mia forms enemies so fast. That's Phagenex right there.
It's true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have,
Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just one more. And please testify one more time. Please, Mr. Judge.
Of course it's alright. Just go on ahead and give your new testimony.
This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors.
What I witnessed, part 2.
The truth is, Beanie pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Beanie caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute.
Oh, this one!
After being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away.
And that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time! I'm so sorry, Beanie, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge?
Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it is, it seems you are. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Anyways, remember when Dollie mentioned it all happened in less than a minute? Basically, you're going to... This screwed me over the first time I played this game, and I will always remember it. Basically... I didn't mean to press!
That's enough, witness! I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture?
That was not supposed to happen!
Oh, that medicine. That's the one Beanie likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time of the victim's electrocution. In other words, 3:05 p.m.
Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye?
My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Ah!
That was completely unintentional! I was just trying to show, hey, here's the photo.
Okay, would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? What exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow.
Oh, order in the court. What is this all about?
This is not the real murderer! Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who was it? Are you saying who have done it? There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene, was there a window of opportunity for the real killer.
Miss Faye, Is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer?
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we're ready.
Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fay. Now then, Miss Fay, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Phoenix! No, Doug Swallow. Grossberg! You gotta say Dollie.
It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne. How can you? The defense is grasping at straws! 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of electrocution. What exactly were you doing this whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you.
Order, order, Miss Fay. What? I mean, why? That is to say...
Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. Ah!
Yes, Dahlia and her butterflies.
How can you say something so mean, Madam Fay? I didn't do anything.
Miss Fay, this is a very serious charge you are.
Yes, and now I can see the full power of Feeny.
Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. You? What is it? Please strike everything the defense said just now from the record.
What the? Are you daft?
You're totally wrong, Miss Fay. Dollie, she couldn't have done something like that. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Achoo. Leave my Dollie alone.
That boy.
That boy. He's got himself way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Police report ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
You'd better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
Yeah, that's right. Mia was dating. Mia had a love life. Basically, police report. The cafeteria. Diego Armando. Just remember the last two letters of his first and last name. Occupation lawyer. Dahlia Hawthorne, age 19. Basically, in just a poison while interviewing the subject regarding the case. Coffee cup. Found in the vicinity. Yes. The coffee cup. You will know exactly how important coffee will play into this game.
Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, I...
Can I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. Go right ahead.
Madam Fay, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie?
Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear.
Oh! I believe the girl's trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must! 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then... that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Dahlia Hawthorne.
But further testimony? What about?
About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she had no reason for the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had very good reason.
Very well then, the court grants the defense's request. Young lady, Would you mind staying on the stand for just a bit longer?
Of course not, Mr. Judge.
Get ready for the battle of your life, Dollie Hawthorne.
How I met my Feeny. Oh yes, this is a wonderful testimony from what I can recall, where he has one of the greatest moments, I believe. I first met my darling Feeny many months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement. Oh no, I think I may have actually skipped it over. I'll tell you if I'll be diligent from this point on, seeing if I can get it. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement ring room. And once ours met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey. We're so lovey-wovey. We literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again, you held contempt of court.
And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her! And go get me some Doritos, Miss Faye. Cool Ranch.
So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow.
Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions charge so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, not at all. Look at me. I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Ho ho ho.
Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always has done the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Chigini.
The courthouse reading room, that's a strange place to meet the love of your life.
That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. You act like Phoenix is dead at this point!
I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing at courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time! It has nothing to do with our murder case!
Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case...
I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I better tread carefully. Your Honor, if you allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony.
Very well, young lady. I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room?
If it pleases Your Honor, the answer is simply this.
You were writing a paper on what?
On the relationship between modern and Ryu poetry and the criminal underworld.
Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea.
Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten.
Again with the midlife crisis stuff?
Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear. So be sure to read carefully. And, oh, if you see some Dorito dust, just brush it off.
So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he just looks like a typical snotty-nosed college brat.
Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeny is handsome.
Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen.
Yeah, and this is probably why Phoenix has never been in a canonical relationship after this case. Mia just crushed all his self-esteem.
Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked.
And this just raises a bunch of questions. Mainly, is Winston's wife like this really hot supermodel? Or is she basically Grossberg in a dress and makeup?
He's telling the truth. It was truly shocking.
Beautiful mushroom growing tall in the darkness. It comes from cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeny. Yeah, that's one of the moments, but that's not the true moment. That is not the true moment of Phoenix's glory as Feeny.
Were there any bad feelings between you and Mr. Swallow?
No, not at all. We parted on very good terms.
But that can't be! Our investigation shows that she has a clean breakup! Huh? Are you sure? Yes, it seems that they both want it that way! So the victim wanted to break up with her. Are you saying that Mr. Swallow also wanted to break up with you?
Well, you see...
What a cruel thing to ask a lovely young lady like this! By the way, I haven't ever once considered leaving my wife!
No one cares, Mr. Payne.
And like, you could do better, Winston. Like, you're this stud.
She didn't deny it. That must mean... Doug Swallow must have seen through her little act. He must have gotten a glimpse of her true nature.
Listen to me, Mia. That woman has the judge of the palm of her hand, you see. So the only way to discredit her is to file contradiction her testimony.
Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy?
Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned?
The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in the report, and that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What?
Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in that criminal case just 8 months ago.
Order, order, order! This is unbelievable. It's true then. The lovely Swiss guy had the cruelest thorns.
Miss Faye, that's unfair! You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case! Winston Payne will not allow it!
Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me, go right ahead.
It's true that about 8 months ago, police expressed some interest in me.
Express some interest, huh?
Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago.
I see.
Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I just gotta stay on the offensive.
Well done, Mia! Ugh! You've really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks! I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids!
Yes, because we truly want to hear about your hemorrhoids, Grossberg. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. Oh, I think this is it! I think this is the testimony I was... What? From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal in just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I would never even know where to get a poison like that.
So that's what happened here 8 months ago.
However, as you heard from the witness testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today, and I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. Ah! What the? Why does the defense only feel stronger?
Aha, Mia! You're glowing with a true lawyer aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing!
This is it, I believe.
How long were you gone?
I won't answer all these questions for the police, but if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes.
And what were you doing during that stretch of time? Using the toilet?
Yes! This is it! This is it! Oh, good! I didn't miss it! I didn't miss it! What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? My perfect little Dollie doesn't poop? This right here! This is why I believe that just why Phoenix is so obsessed with cleaning the toilet. Because Mia essentially, right after she hired Phoenix, she made sure to be regular every morning so as to show Phoenix and then make Phoenix clean the toilet. That way, Phoenix would know that girls do in fact poop.
You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time.
Oh, Phoenix, please.
The police have already looked into this whole matter. Dollie does indeed not poop. It's quite miraculous, really. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time.
Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with your testimony.
I just love that bit.
What were you talking about with the defense attorney?
Oh, I'm sorry, but this is confidential.
According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case.
A lawyer that was killed. He said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger.
Why don't you tell us about that incident? That has absolutely nothing to do with this case!
Objection sustained. The defense's question is stricken for the record.
You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne?
Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dollie, I'll protect you.
You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady.
Oh, Feeny, please.
Ugh. Those two are really making me ill, albeit for decidedly different reasons. Phoenix says, pussy shirt! Ugh. About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons?
Well, let me see. My bottle of eye drops says it's a half fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons.
So it's about 2/3 that amount, huh?
Poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there.
A special kind of poison? How so?
Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect.
Oh, and where would something like that come from?
I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it.
Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive.
The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that?
From her ex-boyfriend, who was a pharmacology student.
Wrong person gives me safe. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you, because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison.
I think that's kind of reason, Madam Faye.
She's right, and I think we've had enough of Miss Faye's questions.
So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was ever arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now, just how did a lit student get a hold of poison of all things?
I thought they were saying lit as in like she was so lit that night, like Dollie was high. The drugs gave Dollie the powers. Okay. You present Doug Swallow.
You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison. I don't believe you.
What?
In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab.
But boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow?
That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology! His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison.
This is why I'm keeping the video going, because you get to hear the pursuit theme. And it's a pretty good one, I have to say. I'm gonna let you listen to it. Okay, that's enough listening. Yes, shock Dollie.
Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done this was the one sitting at this very table. You! No!
Order! Could it be?
That's nothing but a baseless accusation!
May I ask something, Madam Faye?
What is it, Miss Hawthorne?
The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container.
Well, yes, that's true.
I was searched immediately after the incident took place.
Why, true! In fact, the entire course was turned upside down!
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they?
She's right! They even mentioned that in the report! Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small.
Excuse me, ma'am, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you would need to show me some kind of proof.
Proof? She got me go with that.
Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we come up with some evidence, we're gonna lose this lead.
The police conducted a full body search of Dollie and of the entire courthouse. and yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred.
If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is this container poison? Where was this container? What happened to it? Simple.
You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's when you passed on to someone who had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched.
Who is this person?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him disguised as a present. What? But that's...
That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye?
The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding that one piece of evidence that would give her away.
What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here?
No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab would analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No, why?
Sorry, I kicked my table. Oh.
Order in the court!
On behalf of Dollie, I object!
Mr. Wright, control yourself!
I won't let you bully her like this!
Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat!
Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why are you going through so much trouble to make my life hell, Phoenix?
Why? Because I'm madly in love with her!
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time.
Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dollie Hawthorne want to date you anyways?
Like I said, Mia, you're the reason why Phoenix doesn't have any current love interests. Why Phoenix isn't dating anyone in canon. Because you crushed his soul. Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too.
Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes! At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone, Phoenix is a soy boy! The real reason that Dollie Hawthorne is dating you is...
To keep you quiet, Phoenix!
Naturally, it's to keep you quiet.
What? To keep me quiet? Keep me quiet about what?
Well,
It seems the rest of us don't quite understand you, Miss Faye. Nor do we understand what this vile secret that Miss Hawthorne holds is.
That's because there's no secret, I tell you.
how dense can you be?
Miss Faye, please think it over and try again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Real reason? She's madly in love with you!
Naturally, it's because she's fallen madly in love with you too.
See, just like I told you.
Mia! Are you thinking clearly? That flies the face of everything we learned up until this point.
I'm sorry, I don't know why you even said that.
I
Yes, it's because I just like the sound of that phrase, madly in love.
Miss Faye, you can't remain a starry-eyed maiden for the rest of your life, you know.
Please let me think it over one more time, Your Honor. The real reason that Dollie Hawthorne is dating you is... Dollie Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that ballast you left to wear on your neck.
My necklace.
Back there in the waiting room, you say it yourself.
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she's always saying the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that.
For Dollie Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she's absolutely had to get back.
You're lying.
But you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she...
I don't believe you. Oh, that's a lie.
Mia! Are you alright?
The defendant! He's getting away!
Bailiff! Hurry! After him! Mia! Are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy! He went completely insane!
Where's Mr. Wright?
It looks like the bailiff called, so he should be brought back here soon.
Thank goodness. Oh no!
What is it?
The bottle necklace. Miss Holler's present. It's gone.
What? That's terrible!
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Foolish boy, that's the only thing that could have saved him! What in blazes are we supposed to do now?
Oh, great, my voice is cracking. Ugh. Doing Mia's voice in conjunction with Payne's is destroying me.
Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bomb necklace?
We'll answer that question next time. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch the episode. You're a great viewer. If you come back for the next time, if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, see you later. Bye.